Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar put on by the Global Farmer Network. Today's session is focused on poultry and the important role the farmer plays in a healthy society. My name is Joanna Lidback. I'm a dairy farmer from the state of Vermont in the U.S. and a member of the Global Farmer Network. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about the Global Farmer Network. Established in 2000 by farmers, our focus is to connect, empower, and mobilize farmers worldwide. Our mission is to amplify the farmer's voice in promoting trade, technology, sustainable farming, economic growth, and food security. We believe in the power of knowledge transfer, which is why we created this webinar series and offer multiple approaches that focus on action, collaboration, and results that showcase agriculture as part of the solution to the main challenges facing humanity. Thank you for joining us today. Today's speakers are Alida Matza from Lesotho and Jose Luis Gonzalez from Colombia. They each have bios on our website, which is globalfarmernetwork.org. So with that, I will hand the program over to our first speaker, Alida.
Thank you, Joanna. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Alida Maza. I'm a poultry farmer and I'm based in Lesotho. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to be the first speaker in this presentation as a lady and as 2026 is the International Year of Women Farmers. I hope we have a lot of women farmers joining us today. Thank you. Okay, so to begin my presentation, I would like to start by saying when people hear the word poultry farmer, they often think about chickens, eggs, and meat. And while that is true, our role goes much more further than that. We are basically the support that the health sector needs in affording affordable nutrition for children, pregnant women, to say the least. So today in my presentation, I would like to share 3 ways in which poultry farmers contribute to a healthy society. And I'll use examples from my own country, Lesotho, which is based in Africa. So my first pillar will be poultry farmers as providers of affordable nutrition. Across the world, poultry, meat, and eggs are among the most consumed animal source foods. One of the reasons being chicken is the most affordable of all animal proteins. That being the case, it means we as poultry farmers play a major role in assuring that we have affordable nutrition across the world. Protein is essential for growth, brain development, muscle development, and overall health. For children, pregnant women, and the elderly, access to quality protein can make a significant difference in health outcomes. In many developing countries, poultry products are often the first animal protein that low-income households can afford regularly. This means poultry farmers are not simply producing food. We are helping families access the nutrition they need to live healthy and productive lives. In Lesotho, for instance, our country is facing food insecurity, malnutrition, and stunted growth for children. Among 3 children, 1 child is found to be having a stunted growth. So that means we are really battling a lot. And so as poultry farmers in Lesotho particularly, we need to produce more chicken in order to ensure that malnutrition, food insecurity, and stunted growth do not exist anymore. Our King Letsie III, for example, is a champion for nutrition globally, and he's working very hard to ensure that we produce more protein food in our country, and mainly chicken because it is quite affordable. To make sure that that is achievable, we as poultry farmers, together with the government, have had an agreement that we will improve our production so that we minimize our current importation of 95% to at least 40% by 2030. That means by so doing, we would not have helped our country only in economic development, but it means we would have contributed a lot towards food security and nutrition for all in our country. Moving on, my second pillar is on poultry farmers as guardians of food safety and public health. As some of you may know, the World Health Organization has stated that currently antimicrobial resistance is one of the major global issues. And most of this results from antibiotics which are used irresponsibly in animal production. So it means, as poultry farmers, again, in our responsible production, where we use medication responsibly, among others, and make sure that our poultry has good vaccines, clean water, and so on, it means, again, we are playing our role in the health sector. Other than that, it is our responsibility as poultry farmers, again, to ensure strict biosecurity in our farms. And by doing so, again, it means we are contributing in being guardians of food safety and public health. That is yet another role that we play. And now moving on to my third pillar, which is my last. Poultry farmers are also builders of healthy communities. When we talk about health, we are not just talking about food, but even empowering communities to develop is building a healthy community. So as poultry farmers, we create jobs, we develop our communities in different ways, and that means our role, again, is a positive one in our community. Just to make an example of Lesotho again, we are a developing country which is not doing well economically. And as I have said, we import about 95% of all poultry products that we consume. That means a lot of money that we would be making only if we are producing enough in our country is going to another countries. So it means, as poultry farmers, if we increase our production, if we come together to create collaborative cooperatives or associations in order to make sure that our production has increased, it means we would be building a healthy community for our country. Now, I would like to go on to give my personal story. I am a law graduate who has been unemployed since I graduated in 2021. And I found myself surviving through farming, through being a poultry farmer. Having been a poultry farmer has created a job not only for myself, but for my other employees as well. And that means I am contributing towards development in my community, as well as nutrition and public health, because I make sure that I use antibiotics responsibly. Now, I would like to end by giving a key message. I would like to say poultry farmers are not only food producers, we are providers of nutrition, guardians of public health, and builders of healthy communities. The work we do on our farms has an impact far beyond our farm gates. To conclude, the poultry farmer's role in a healthy society goes far beyond raising chickens. We provide affordable and nutritious food. We help safeguard public health through responsible farming practices. We create jobs, generate income, and strengthen communities. Healthy societies depend on healthy food systems, and healthy food systems depend on committed farmers. As poultry farmers, we should be proud of the role we play in nourishing people, supporting livelihoods, and helping build a healthier future for all. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say poultry farming is very important globally. Poultry farming affords those with low income with affordable nutrition. And so we should go on to endure as poultry farmers to ensure that we have a healthy society. Thank you.
Muted. Okay, we do have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. Um, let's see. What strategies can be implemented to maximize a food budget while also maintaining nutritional balance, not just securing the food cycle itself? Do you have a thought?
Can I answer that a little later? Maybe I can go on to other questions.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah,
Yes.
we can. Why don't we save the questions for the very end then?
Okay, before we go to that, I can answer the question about do you face a lot of competition from South Africa? Yes, we face a lot of competition from South Africa because basically the 95% that we import is mainly from South Africa. So it is not easy to beat them when we can only produce 5% ourselves.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. All right, we'll move on to Jose. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Jose Luis Gonzalez. I'm from Colombia. I work mainly on the area of Magdalena Medio. I'm a poultry farmer and I've been a poultry farmer for over 12 years. And we start working on something that is very impactful on the society. That is that we have to get involved with technology and work hand in hand with the technology. And that's the main reason that we are working with other countries to import the technology that they have and try to work from something that we used to work as traditional poultry farmer that has open space and works with the ventilation of the nature. And we actually are working right now with control environments. The main idea of everything that we are doing right now at the farm is to be as less impactful as we can with environment, and we are going as green as possible. We are reducing the water wastage and production of leaches, and we are using solar systems, solar panels to work with the sun, and because we are at the end of the delivery electricity delivery system, so we have to work with everything we have in hand, and we start doing risky but very rewardful project that involves the growth of the farm on more or less 60% more. We start doing this 5 years ago, more or less, and the process was amazing. Nonetheless, has its own risk, has a lot of issues, but at the end, the main idea is to start working with nature, with the plantations that we have, and with the communities that we have that surrounds the production facilities, and learn that this is a business. And as a business, as Alida said, um, this is one of the most um, nutritious business we can have as a livestock producer, because the production of chicken is quite cheap and actually is very rewardful in the way that we can earn a lot of money because of the implementations that we do at our farms. So with that in mind, I will try to show you if someone can help me with the video that I have that shows the interaction that we have with the plantation, the water systems that we have, and the new barns that we build. This video shows everything that we are working on and how the process works. It's very short. It's all about the, um, the location of the farm and how we manage to work hand in hand with the community, with the plantation producers and everything, so we can have a very, very nice and sustainable way to work with. And so I don't know if that one. So here we can see there is a plantation that we have right now that is the palm oil plantation, and we work hand in hand with the poultry farm. So we have the manure to feed our plants. And if, as you can see on on this static picture, there are some ways that we are using that. For example, right now we have some sheds that, some barns, sorry, that are capable to have the manure fermented and be ready to use for the plantations. That's one thing that we have to work with, and that's a lot of technology involved in there to work as a complete cycle and sorry, and how to manage all the resources that we have right now because of the manure, because of the plants that we have, and how we manage. This is the building process. This was a big enterprise for us. It involves the um, the construction on 6 hectares, so we can manage to do these barns. These barns are right now one of the most high-tech barns on Latam and on Latin America. And we are very proud to say that right now, because of those, we increase our yields in almost 33 to 45%, depending on the cycle that we're working with. And the main idea here was to construct in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the plantation, without destroying as much or touching the nature as much as we can. With this project was very green, very sustainable, and as you can see, we are using solar panels, and because, well, that part of the farm has no light, and we have to manage to do something so we can transfer some light from the other farm that is on the back to the one at the front. And the idea was to actually support everything and reduce our carbon footprint. And the main idea, and as you can see, sorry, here are some of the things that we did, and one of the mainly was the implementation of solar panels. Can you go to the next one, please? Thank you. This is the process. It was very big, and we have to terramorph everything here, and we have to work with the water over the back of those palms that we have there. There is a river, and we don't want to touch the river and anything that involves him, even the creeks or something that is working with the water. So to do so, we actually implement a way of terraplanes, so we can work with the as a level or a different height on each of the barns, but don't touch the actual involvement of the river on the project. The idea here also involves that if we are going to do this, we are going big. So those barns actually are 178 meters in length, 2.7 of height, and they are 16 meters wide. That's because of one main reason that I'm going to show you on the next picture, please. Is because of this. We have to work with the water. There is a lot of water on this area. So as a civil engineer, as I am, we decided that if we are going to work with the nature and we are going to produce food for the communities, we have to do it the right way. So we start doing some process to actually take all that water that is going to be bad for the barns and put it back to the system. So we are sending all that rainwater, all the capitation water that we are going to get from the construction itself. we're sending back to the river, and we have canals, and here they are building the canals so we can have all that water go back to the main system. And here we can see all the process that we did. We were building all the barns at the same time. We did 6 barns in 2 years, and it sounds like a lot of time, but those beans they were very heavy. So we have to involve all the community, give them work, give them a good job, so they can actually participate on our enterprise and they can retribute from the enterprise. Can we go to the next, please? And here is what I say. This is the issue, the main issue with this construction on a land that is more involved with water than anything else, is that we are going to have a lot of rain, and we are going to have some displacement of the water because of the movement, the natural movement. So we have to work with it. And here, I love this picture because here we can see the water actually doing damage to our barns. The main construction is taking place, but we have to keep working. They are assembling the silos that we are going to get the feed for it. And we are here had the issue. The water is our main source, but it's also our main enemy. So we have to work with it and try to move it out of the construction site. Next, please. And because of that, here we can see that the damage that the water do to the production. Here we are downloading the birds, the chicks, to start working on a barn, and the water actually did all that damage. So we have to start rethinking all that we were already planning, and we have to rebuild the roads, because we are not allowed to use conventional construction methods because of the well-being of the birds. That involves some gases and some materials that probably will be toxic for the birds. So we have to do it with actual soil. So because of that, we have to work it again, rework everything with it, and see what's the problem with the water. And this is just one small part of what we have to do and what we are going to do with the implementation of technology. Can we go to the next one? Yes, this one is important. That truck that you just saw, has those chicks. It looks like he's throwing them. No, he's just leaning the basket, because here, at least in Colombia, we have a very, very strong poultry culture. Right now, we are exporting our birds to Japan and some to the United States, and we are opening some channels to work with Africa, Europe, and I think is one going to Asia. I can remember it's the Philippines or something, but I know we're going to start to work with Asia and Oceania. And this is something that we have to work with, and it's the well-being of the birds. That's why we have to work with a lot of technology. We have to take care of the water that are going inside the barns, and we have to manage how we actually work with the birds. They are very, very fragile. They are 30 grams to more like 36 to 38 grams. They are very, very small creatures, and if you just drop them, you will break one of their legs, one of the wings, and you will not actually work with the lifespan. And we have to actually work with them. As you can see here, we have very high technology. The technology here that I'm showing you is, those are the structures that we have. They are the third best extraction systems on the world right now. We are using automatic feeding systems and water recycling systems. Here is everything just to do a good job with the birds. We have inlets to let air go inside the panels, or the walls on those barns are isolated. They are very, very useful and very heat reserve. They're very good at heat reservation. And the birds, we have to work with them. So as I say, the bird needs a certain temperature to be very, very well behaved, very, very well managed. And all this that we have here is just to work with them and let them be on their short lifespan, be as comfortable as we can be, as they can be. You can go inside of one of those. Sorry. You can go in one side of those, so the temperature is going to be lower than the temperature outside the barn, and that's the main idea, to support the birds before they start doing some before they start developing and actually manage to do some work with them and be more reluctant and doing the right thing for the birds before they go to the sacrifice process. Can we go to the next one, please? And I want just to show this picture for one reason. He's my father. He's the one that actually led me to all the crazy stuff that I do on the farm. He's the one that actually loves what I do, and he's very proud. And I'm very proud of him. And because of him is that I'm doing what I do. And I want to showcase that he's a crazy guy, that he's a lawyer in the middle of the land of no one, but he's the reason of what I'm doing, what I do. He's my support, he's my everything. And he allows me to actually start traveling the world and get the technology from other countries and see what is working outside the world, outside in the world, and bring it back to Colombia. And with that in mind, we managed to actually break a world record with our production, and we managed to be a farm that has one of the best qualities in the world. And that made us very proud, but for obvious reasons. But he's the mind behind everything. He's the crazy guy that allowed this crazy guy to what he likes to do. And the more important thing is that he understands that technology is the more important thing that as a poultry farmer that we can do. The technology is everything. Technology is what we need, and it decides the prices. We can have high technology and low technology, but the low technology doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It means that it's a low cost production, but it's going to work and actually help the poultry farmers that, for example, I know by a study that a lot of people are experiencing a high ratios on their productions. And the main goal to reduce, and the main idea is to reduce those numbers. And what you can do to reduce the number is implementation of some four basics: ventilation, water transportation to the birds, feed, and light. If you manage those four things on a barn, it's going to work. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be very high tech. The main idea is that you have to work with the technology that are available, on your country and on your local area. And I think that would be my presentation, Joanna.
Okay. Thank you, Jose. Okay, and we have Alita back. Great. So if you have any questions, to share them with us. We're gonna go back that we got from YouTube. And if you both want to take a shot at this, we'll go one at a time. But what strategies can be implemented to maximize a food budget while also maintaining nutritional balance, not just securing the food cycle itself?
Okay.
Thank you, Joanna. I think what can happen in order to afford that is to make sure that the information regarding nutrition is disseminated well. We can basically do nutrition education and also advise everyone to just grow, make sure that they grow both vegetables and have some animals by themselves so that they can be able to acquire all the nutrition that they need. They don't basically have to buy everything. They don't even have to go beyond their budget in order to try to afford the nutrition that we are talking about. What they can do is to learn and know what they need in order to lead nutritious lives.
Okay, I can add a little bit on the topic. There are, if you want to have a food budget on the production, you have to work with the people that surrounds your community and start looking for some solutions. For example, soy production, corn production, and limestone. Those are some basics that we can put on the feed, and they are low cost, and put it on the nutrition facts on the nutrition table for the birds. And besides that, we can work with some low sorry, with low transportation products. So what I mean with that is that if you have close to your farm someone that is putting some kind of seeds that are very oily, you can put those on the feed and reduce actually some, and put some good fats on the production of the birds, and reduce the risk on, as Alida said once, the malnutrition of the birds. And that's one main idea of working with the cycles. Try to work with the community. That's what we start doing a lot of time ago, and it works.
Thank you. Okay, we had another question come in. What is the biggest challenge for poultry businesses?
Alida, when you want to go first, or should I go first on this one, because we talk about this?
Okay, I think I'll go first. I'll speak from um, my perspective as a poultry farmer from Lesotho. So our challenge here, or my challenge here, is basically on we use the traditional way of raising poultry here. So it is not easy to apply strict biosecurity measures. Other than that, we have quite a cold climate. So when you have no technology, it is quite difficult to make sure that the temperatures are right for the chickens. So we usually experience high mortality in winter. Other than that, another issue with regard to poultry farmers in Lesotho is with regard to market access. Since a lot of chicken is imported from other countries, and we are producing at a very low scale, it is not easy to access the formal market because they complain of the inconsistency as well as the quality, since there are no quality standards regulating bodies as well. So the challenges for us are quite huge. However, we are glad that this year came with implementation of the national poultry policy, and a lot of these challenges have been addressed. So I guess maybe by this time next year, I won't be talking of the same challenges. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to add something more here. The main challenge, there are three things that we identify here in Colombia. One, Alida already talk about it, and it's one that you have to work with the biosecurity of your farm. The more you encapsule, sorry, your farm, the less risk you get from the environment viruses, the environment things. The other important thing is people need to understand that poultry is very important for the society because it's one of the main product main livestock production, because of they are very cheap and they are very very fast growing. And if we understand this as a business, that is the third issue that we usually have, and is that people don't understand that this is actually a business that you have to invest on, that you have to work with, and you have to put your heart on it. They are not just birds that arrive on a barn and grow and you just let them go in and that's it. No, you have to learn how to work with the barn, how to work with the community and the people that surrounds you, and understand that the business is to make the money and actually be able to produce enough money to keep working and reduce those ratios that are very very harmful for the barns. That, for example, Alida said, mortality is very very important to reduce. She's having big numbers, we already talked, and I don't want to talk about those numbers. And we have also those issues back on the time, but since we start implementation of technology, the numbers reduced to a very 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 small margin. And that's the main idea. You have to start small to go big. but you have to remember on poultry that always start small. Never start on a big scale unless you have the right people doing work with you hand by hand. And that's the main idea here on business as an actual business.
Great. Thank you. We've got another question that came in. What about maintaining profitability amid rising costs and market fluctuations?
Okay. Um, the main thing that people also don't understand about this as a business, I talk about it a little bit on my presentation. It was very, very short, but probably I should talk more about it, is that we have the manure. We don't also produce the birds, the chicken meat. We have the manure, and that manure actually is profitable because we already have it because of the production, and selling to the other people that produce, that have plantation or something that involves more greeny stuff growing on the soil. We can give them the actual manure and work with them hand in hand, but doing a cycle of production. I mean, the manure is also um, a profitable way to have an extra on the farm. That's one thing. And the second thing is the rising cost of, I know the corn is going up, the soy is going up, but the main idea is to actually be more, let's say, profitable. I know it sounds crazy, weird, but what I mean with that is that I know the feet of the birds are getting very, is very, very, I kind of, oh, I forgot the word. They're very, very expensive. Sorry, but since that's expensive, we have to work with the ratio of growth of the birds and actually be able to reduce the consumption by increasing the ratio. So that's a work that we do with a lot of our workers and hand in hand with Cargill. We work with Cargill, and we are trying to reduce that gap more and more and more. So the birds are more and more profitable to produce. Besides the increases of the soy and the corn, and I know it's hard for a lot of people around the world, but that's the main idea: reduce that gap. And with knowledge and technology, we can do that. And I don't know if Alida wants to add something else because we talked about this like 2 days ago. It was amazing.
I think you have said it all, Jose. So thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, I can sort of. I always think it's pretty neat is not a good word. Cool, exciting, interesting to just know that farmers everywhere, poultry farmers, dairy farmers, we all face similar challenges, and we all have similar approaches in a way to some of those challenges that we face. So I have a question for you. Um, where do you see your farm in the future, say 5, 10 years from now? What does that future look like to you?
Did you say myself?
Both of you. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay.
And let's
Thank
you
you so
talk.
much. Okay. In my case, I see Alida's Poultry Farm. That's the name of my poultry farm enterprise. I see Alida's Poultry Farm in future as one of the leading poultry enterprises in Lesotho. I see us not just producing but also processing. I see us contributing a lot in the decrease of importation of poultry products in Lesotho. And The future is really bright. We just have to be consistent and make sure that we try to minimize the costs as much as we can and work on the mortality and learn from other amazing farmers such as Mr. Gonzalez here, and everything is going to work out perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. As a poultry enterprise farmer, because I consider now that um, we have a project right now that we are working on to be established as one of the biggest farms in Colombia, at least. We have right now almost 1 million birds, sorry, at the same time. And the main goal is to grow to 2 million to 2.5 million birds at the same time. The main reason is because we want to start working with a lot of countries and actually export the chicken meat. And we see that that's a very, very good idea for our production. And yeah, that's what I see in the future. I want to be one of the biggest poultry farmer. Right now, we have, as I say, a price that a recognition and from Aviagen, that is the genetic house of that produce the birds that we raise at the farm. That we have one of the best farms around the world. We mean with that we have a ratio that is called the European efficiency factor, and we have a farm that has a factor of 500 or more, and being on that is just amazing. And that's the idea, being one of the best and one of the biggest, if we can do that.
Great. We've got another question and then I've got a wrap up question.
Okay.
But we'll make one final pitch for if you have any questions for our speakers, please send them along in the comments and chat. But the next question is for Jose. How
Okay.
how do you mitigate high feed costs?
Okay. Two things. First, you have to learn who is producing what on your own country. We did that, and we learned, for example, that some of the oils that are used on the feed, we produce it. We have the pounds, so we start working with the factory that produce the feed, and send them some of the oil so that reduce. And what I want to say with this is that if you learn what is produced locally, you can actually manage to produce the feed. There are some ratios on the internet that are very, very straightforward, and they work. And if you want to do that, you just have to learn that you have to have a meal and use that meal to produce the flour from corn and sometimes from soil. Yeah, soy, and use all the stuff that you have around you. Don't just try to work with what the company said. I mean, with that, there are some nutrition facts that we have to get in the food of the birds that are very, very local. So just don't try to go, for example, with big corn production if you don't produce corn. And if you are able to have like soy, um, lentils, uh, beans, those when they are dry, you can use a lot, and you can mill them and use as a flour that you can with a little mixture of water and some limestones and some minerals that are very, very profitable for the birds, and actually fats, vegetable fats, they are very good for the birds. And mainly they are produced locally. Try to work with the locals, try to learn what they are producing locally, and you can actually be able to produce a good feed for the birds.
Next question. We did have a few come in. Is poultry manure being used as fertilizer?
Yes, a lot. We used to work, as you saw probably on the pictures, the soil on our farm used to be all that. I mean, it was all sand and all yellow soil. It was a ferrous soil. And because of the production of the manure that we don't know, we at that time we didn't know what to do with it. We said, okay, let's just throw it to the soil and hope for the best. That's it. And after 1 year of doing that, because we didn't have people to buy the manure, the soil recovers, and it was incredible. At one point, we start thinking that if we do this with all the farm, we are going to be able to have a plantation. And yeah, that's what we did. We start throwing all the manure on all our land, batch by batch, sorry, and the soil recovers, and it was amazing. And at one point, we started saying that we have to grow something, so we start with um, pumpkins and watermelons, but because of the sun was harmful, so we decided to change, and at the end, we start planting palm oil, African palms, and the business just flourished. And we learned that everything that we produce as a wasted wastage can be used on something else. And the manure actually helps us understand that if we use it on the soil, we are going to grow more things because of that.
Cool. I always think it's ironic how at one point manure was considered a waste product, and there's really a lot of value in manure. That's we've come a long way.
Yes.
Okay, so this question, feel free, either one of you. Um, what are the primary biosecurity risks? You both mentioned biosecurity being a big challenge, but what are you securing your birds against?
Some of the biosecurity risks in our poultry farms, one is allowing unsupervised movement into the farm, like allowing visitors to just come into the farm. That is very risky because you won't know for sure what they are carrying. So that is the first. And the second is failing to prohibit entrance of other birds into the farm, because poultry like chickens and other birds share the same diseases. So you have to make sure that there are no holes where other birds can penetrate through, because they share the disease. And another one is failure to practice strict hygiene practices. Poultry requires cleanliness through and through. If you're not able to do that, then they are most likely to acquire diseases. I think, yeah.
Okay. I will add something else. She's totally right. We have to work a lot with introduction of bacteria and introduction of germs, viruses. The main ones that we have to tackle in all the time are Newcastle, and the other one is salmonellas. It depends on the area, but the difference can destroy everything. And the biosecurity of a farm is very important because also we use water. We are working with living animals, and if we just let everyone in, we don't know where they've been, and if they touch other birds or if they have birds at home, that will give us a risk of on the production. One person that is infected, a normal person can carry the diseases, but we are not getting any health issues, but the birds will suffer for that. So at least on our farm, you have to shower before you go inside. You have to not wear clothes that we are going to give you for that purpose, and we have to vaccinate. We have to do a lot of stuff. We have to clean a lot, so we don't have those issues that Anita already told.
Well, thank you both for your comments and sharing your farms and your passion with us. Um, this will be the final question, and so it's a good one. It's from our friend Gina. Um, what do you think the most important role of a poultry farmer is in society?
For me, I'll go with providing affordable nutrition. For me, that is, yeah, the main one.
Okay, for me, is that okay? There are a lot of things for it, but we are a business, and if we are doing it right, we are going to grow the communities that surround our production. And as Alida said, we are the guardians of the nutrition of our countries, and being able to be part of the production chain that take place on my country, and being able to say that, oh, I see on the supermarket the birds that they say they sell, those are probably mine. It makes me proud to be a poultry farmer. We are risking everything to give the world a better place to live. We have to do a lot of stuff to work on any conditions. We have to work with rain, we have to work with heat, we have to work with, even on my case, landslides. And we do this for just one reason: we have to feed the world, and we are going to do it so until the end of times. So as a poultry farmer, I'm very, very proud to give food to the people, give food to the community that surround us. And I'm very happy to be able to say that I'm doing my best to not only feed the people, but on a plate, but feed them on their souls, because we are giving them the chance to grow as a person. And that's the best thing of being a poultry farmer, is to being able to work and help everyone that surrounds us.
Awesome. I know the feeling, guys. I know it well. All right. Well, thank you both so much for joining us and for sharing, like I said, information about your farms and your passion for the industry. It's been very informative, and thank you to our audience and the folks that joined us. I know Gina is putting in the comments to learn more about our organization. You can visit our website, globalfarmernetwork.org. There's a bio of a biography of each of us on that website, and that's it, I guess. Good luck to everyone, and hope to see you again in the future. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.